back, folks. We, of course, carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. A lot of clubs been very busy at their structures over the last few months. Not so much with games, as we know, but with a lot of components around planning the clubs, about media, marketing, but also building the various structures. As you know, a few weeks ago, we had Zoe Nodia from False Bay Rugby Club on the show with us, and she was talking about women's rugby at False Bay. But of course, as we know, the clubs have got a lot of different structures, from youth structures to women's structures, and of course, a lot of the clubs have been working on their past players structure, or as they still refer to, maybe as the old boys structure. And of course, in that space, there are also multiple different competitions that the players and teams have been taking part in. But to tell us a little bit more about False Bay and all of the different structures at False Bay, we managed to get Jono van der Walt back on the line, and we haven't spoken to Jono for a long time. Jono, welcome back.
How's it, JP? How's it going?
Yep, not too bad. We haven't seen you for a while there, Jono. You've taken a break now a little bit from the under-21s.
Yes, the Western Province commitment is finished for 2020, and now it's time to get stuck into normal work as well as False Bay, because False Bay and Club Rugby never sleep, so we're always very, very, very busy from a club point of view.
Well, talking about busy, you probably heard me summarize there all the activities. I mean, you guys have been very busy, not only in the last few weeks, but over the last 7-8 months. You've been making sure that the admin is right, and you've been having regular management meetings and thinking about the field and the facilities. There's a lot of work behind the scenes.
Yes, JP, one of the things, and our chairman actually alluded to it as well, is that we're a rugby club. So even though there's no rugby, we still have a club, we still have a general community of like-minded individuals, and we've just really tried to stay fresh, to kind of be current, to make sure that if there's any coaching course, if there's anything that's online, that guys are getting stuck into it, and again, just always prepping and preparing for 2021. So
we've spoken to a couple of the clubs, and a lot of the clubs have been talking about their structures in the clubs, and that it's not just a question, like you say, it's not just a question of coaching rugby. There are multiple components. And so what we've seen now some of the clubs doing is literally creating structures to look after the different departments in the club. Are you guys doing something similar to that?
Yeah, JP, we've been very fortunate over the last decade that our numbers and our depth is very strong at False Bay. But, a lot of people also, it's very easy to kind of criticize other clubs, but having a lot of numbers and a lot of depth almost comes with its own problems as well. And just to give you a little kind of indication of that, we have a first team, second team, third team, fourth team, fifth team, sixth team. We have a ladies team, we have an under-20 A's and B's, and we have a Jocks and Crocs team. We only have 2 rugby fields. And, we have to accommodate all of these players, coaches, and everyone that just wants to kind of play rugby and they want to get going. So yes, it comes with its own challenges, and that's why we have to plan and prep accordingly.
Yeah. And then the other part that I mentioned was the you call it the Jocks and Crocs. Just you got to explain to us, what are Jocks and Crocs?
Yeah, so almost historically, the Jocks were kind of, if you just like almost finished playing rugby, and you were maybe between the ages of about 33 or 35, you'd maybe be called a jock, and then those guys that are 35 plus, those are going to be the Crocs, because as you know, if you want to play for the Crocs, you have to be 35 and older.
And how many guys you got?
We've probably got about 35 to 40 strong, and then generally home games there seems to be 60 or 70, and then away games, obviously the numbers tend to dwindle a little bit.
Are the guys all former False Bay players? Is that how it works?
Yeah, pretty much. I'd say 95% of guys are all ex-False Bay guys. Maybe you'd find 1 or 2 have played their rugby, maybe in Johannesburg, Durban, PE, East London, wherever around the country. We have a few guys which have maybe come in from the UK and the States, and they're of age, and they just come down, put on a jersey, and play some rugby.
Yeah. And I mean, your advice as the head coach for the first team, do you guys have a coach as well for the old boys?
Yeah, so the Crocs will have player coach, because nobody just wants to just kind of coach and never get stuck into playing. So they will pretty much do player coach type things. there'll be a small committee, sometimes comprising of between 1 and 5 guys, and they will kind of plan the year out. And I know in the past there used to be a Old Crocs 10s tournament, and then kind of once a month the guys get together. So they'll play some touch when they can, and then they look forward to the rugby days once a month.
Jono, just how important is it to have these type of structures at a club?
JP, it's massively important. One, from a networking point of view, but two, from a support point of view, because we have Friday night lights with some of the reserve league, where some of the reserve league teams play in, and all of those older guys, everybody works. Maybe there's a few business owners in there, and everyone will either support, whether it be a brewery roll, whether it be a cool drink or a beer, whether it be a sponsorship come game day, whether it be a signboard, whether it be anything that needs to be done in and around the club. We need all of these kind of club rugby structures to pull through and help and assist the club where possible.
Any idea for tournaments or competitions? And obviously now this year we know is pretty much a write-off. But are there structures around the province or even around the country that are busy planning for next year, where there are maybe tours happening for the past players?
Yes. Look, normally there's a rugby day kind of every year, and it tends to rotate between the provinces. It is a little bit difficult this past year that's just happened now. And unfortunately, next year, even though there will be some planning, the guys are going to have to wait a bit on like protocols, COVID protocols, return to play, etc. And then especially with tours, to kind of get around the country or maybe even within the province, they're going to have to see if those type of tours are going to go ahead next year.
And what about from a Bay perspective, in terms of the players from call it your first team squad, your second team squad? Are you guys now? Is it currently more still about preparing for 2021?
Yes, JP. We don't. Again, rugby. We always use the old cliches of you can only control the controllables, and we don't know what's going to happen next year in terms of maybe what our government and SORO and maybe what Western Province will give to us. But one thing we have to do is we have to plan and prep accordingly. Rugby takes some time to get your body to adapt. So we've given the guys 5 weeks off now. They can hit the gym, they can hit the road, they can do what they want. And come next year in January, we've already gotten our basic kind of certificate from the union. So I know False Bay will basically be able to kind of do like a ready to return to play a rugby come January. So our guys are looking forward to it. We'll be hitting CrossFit, and we'll be hitting the field, and hopefully once we get a green light in terms of friendlies and games and a league, then we'll kind of hit the ground running.
Jono, I think we'll leave it at that. Great chatting with you as always. Of course, we can't wait to see everybody back on the park, back at training, and it's great to know that you've already ticked that first box, which is of course that COVID compliance return to training component.
Yes, correct. It's quite admin intensive. So if a club hasn't started, best you guys start already. There's a mountain of paperwork. It's about registering players, making sure that you have protocols in place on the field. Make sure you can screen your players. Make sure that everything is still safe for everyone to play this game on the field.
Yeah.
So we're super keen to just get on the field, even if it's just touch and handling and doing whatever we're allowed to do. At least we're on the grass with boots.
Of course, health and safety is absolute priority. Still remains a priority. Have you got any messages of advice around COVID for anybody that is watching right now?
Yeah, look, I would just say always just maintain your distance, wear a mask, clean your hands as often as you can. And then I would just say, just kind of be smart about everything. Make good decisions. The youngsters like to go out and they obviously like to enjoy their weekends. But just make good decisions. And that's maybe the only advice that I would give. Look, you must still live your life and you must still spend time with friends and family. But there are better ways to go about it.
Follow the health and safety protocols. Yeah, well, we've heard it before, and we obviously need to stick to that to make sure that people stay safe. Jono, we'll leave it at that. We'll say thanks to you, and hopefully we'll catch up with you again soon.
Nick and JP, thanks for having me, man.
There we go, folks. Jono van der Walt, Director of Rugby at False Bay Rugby Football Club. And of course, they are busy at the moment. I have been for a while now, building their youth structures, the women's structures, as well as the past players' structures. And, well, hopefully, well, next year, I suppose, we'll see some of those competitions rolling out, the old boys competitions. And we look forward to sharing that with you here on Cape Rugby TV. Right, folks, as you know, Score Energy Drinks is on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. And now, if you want to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks, now this is a double-up competition. You can win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks as well as 24 Cape Rugby TV masks. So we're doubling up for you. All you need to do is SMS the word SCORE to 33090. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33090. There you see the name of the can, SCORE, and you see the name of the what you need to send. You can see it behind me there, but SMS the word SCORE to 33090, and you can put yourself in the mix to win a case of 24 Score Energy Drinks as well as 24 masks. So that's our double up competition that you could put yourself in the mix for. Congratulations then to last week's winner, Sakum Zivati. Sakum, you walk away with a set of 24 masks, courtesy of CTC Sports, and a case of Score Energy Drinks. Someone from Cape Rugby TV is going to get in touch with you, and you can collect your prize. Folks, when we come back from the break, we're going to find out what's happening at Western Province Rugby with the African Bank Esports Challenge. And of course, this is where the clubs will be participating, competing against each other in the PlayStation competition, the online competition, where they are participating in the African Bank Esports Challenge. And we're really looking forward to find out how that competition is going to go, because we'll end up with teams on logs with results and fixtures. So that's going to be very exciting. Stick around. We'll come back on the break.